morning, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. What's up, man? How you doing today?
Hey, just as projected, I say, hey, it's Wednesdays with Cam.
No
Cam.
kidding. Yep. That's because you were planning ahead. You're like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna label this correctly, and no.
Even the best laid plans.
Yeah, that's right. And who knows? Maybe it's because the Storm have an early game today. We have a noon start on a West Coast game. It's a home game, and this is it's the kids game, basically, right? So I'm gonna make sure that I have earplugs. So soon as I'm done here today, basically I'm headed to Seattle because the press conference is always 2 hours before the game. So that means I got to be down at the stadium, at like 9:00. So,
say, are they going to have the kids actually, practice on the court? Because from what I understand right now, they may be actually a better option than some of the players because you guys are on a losing streak of epic proportions.
So they would need them to play defense because our shooting has been just fine. They put up 102 points on Monday night. So getting the ball in the hoop has not been an issue. Defense, on the other hand, has, with the Lynx scoring 105. So, and I guess since we're kicking this off with the WNBA Storm specifically, the W has scheduled a lot of these back-to-backs. So the Storm had the Connecticut Sun back-to-back, and then the Mystics back-to-back. Now they're going into the second game of the Lynx, and then they'll be headed to New York for 2 games there. And I'm sure this is a travel logistics situation where they're like, hey, we're going to try and limit some of the travel. We're going to make you play these teams 2 times in a row. Also helps, shorten the distance between some of the games, right?
Right.
So I asked the coach if that's something that she likes, and so this was her response.
Coach, you're coming up on the third back-to-back where you have the same team, twice in a row. Mm-hmm. Are you a fan of that? And then does it give you any strategic advantage or disadvantage seeing them twice in a couple of days?
Yeah, I like it. It's a good opportunity. You set a game plan, you go out, you make adjustments in the game, but then to be able to come right back. It's sort of a playoff type of scenario, right? Be able to come right back with a day in between to make adjustments. I think that's really good prep for a young team as well. Both teams have the same advantages and disadvantages at the end of the day, but I think when it gets to that, finding solutions, right? The problem-solving nature of having the same team twice in a row, I think that's an exciting challenge to have.
So I like that, especially for a team that really isn't playoff bound. It gives them that
I was
playoff.
Say, there is no chance that they're making the playoffs.
Not at all. Not at all. But what it does is it does give you some of that experience without getting that experience, right? So maybe you're not seeing that situation in a playoff atmosphere. Fair enough. But it at least gives you that, hey, when we do get there, because the pieces are there, right? You're talking about a team that put up 102 on the best team in the league. And, they see them again tonight. The defense go ahead.
So I immediately think about it the opposite way. They put up 102 points against the best team in the league. Yeah. Now that best team in the league is going to play rather than, write it in, which is kind of almost what they did. Had they been upset in that game, it would have been an epic failure on their part. But
so I disagree with you there only because I'm at all of these. So them putting up points was not an aberration. They've done this against some of the best teams in the league. They just can't close a game out. Like that's the thing they haven't learned how to do. They've been able to hang with all these teams. Now, has there been some blowouts? Sure. But they are 0-10 in games decided in less than 5 points. So they're in these games. They just can't close it out. They get that late game turnover. They get a bad foul. They find ways to drop these games. So it's not like they're a terrible team on a talent level where they're getting blown out, right? So they're in these games and they just can't close. So once they figure out how to do that, this is going to be a pretty solid team. You also got to remember that, you have of your starting lineup, 2 of them are rookies, one of them's a second year. So I mean, you got a lot of youth on this team, a lot of learning. Again, you know me, I'm not into moral victories, but you can at least see the direction they're headed. And so does that mean anything for this year? Not really, right? Obviously, they're not going to make the playoffs or anything like that, but they are getting good experience and they are squaring up nicely against some of the best teams in the league. So once they can figure out how to close a game, the Storm will be an interesting team.
See, and I look at this as that the youth and inexperience is what is creating the losses in certain circumstances where you're talking
100%.
about that 0-10. But what I get from these back-to-backs is that you have the best team in the league that just came in here and they played no defense and they won the game 105-102. Now comes the defense. So it'll be interesting to see.
Tonight's game will be interesting.
Yeah, because I expect that this game will have a much different smell to it. Where, it was like, hey, there was an air of, hey, we have a chance, to, I think that there is, how do I put this? Let's find out what these, I'm gonna find out exactly what the, I'm gonna bet. If I would have bet this game, that's what I want to see. I want to see.
So they went into Monday night's game as a 10.5 point dog. I would imagine the line is going to be similar.
And the Storm is also 10.5. It's a 10.5 point.
Yeah. Well, I didn't imagine a lot changed between
that,
Monday and today.
Yeah, I got that at. I'm going to take Minnesota and minus the 10.5 points.
Okay, so you have them to cover.
Yeah.
So it's funny because going into Monday night's game, I was looking at it as the Lynx would probably cover that one. I was like, man, I hope we don't get bounced by 20, right? Like that was the feel going in. Shout out to Will and the marketing team though, because despite the record, that stadium, I mean, we had 12,500 people in the stadium for Monday night. And it wasn't like Minnesota took over. Like, it was primarily, Storm. So shout out to them, absolutely crushing it, even though the team is struggling.
Well, they also are. Listen, Seattle is a good city to represent their own. And that's,
we are a sports town.
So I will absolutely, I liken Seattle to Philadelphia in that respect.
Yeah.
That, for instance, last Friday, and I'm going to bring this up, and I will only bring this up once, was Shane Gillis was at the Link.
Oh yeah.
And broke records. 77,000 tickets sold. I was 2 of those tickets, sold.
Yeah. How was that show?
I will tell you that it was a good show. I did not care for the very first comedian. I didn't think he was very funny. Big Jay Okerson is funny, but you have to enjoy his sense of humor. I do, which made it better for me. I am okay with that. He is absolutely politically incorrect and does it that way. And he's just a guy who just he does not care.
Yeah.
And then you have Shane Gillis, who was funny, uh, but funny for not long enough, I think.
Okay.
Like I feel like that when you have 77,000 people in a stadium, you should do a set longer than a half hour.
Oh, it was only a half-hour show.
Oh no, 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 no! Like it
His
was
set.
his
His set.
set was a half hour, and then he brought on Dave Chappelle, who also
Okay.
is good. Kevin Hart was supposed to make it but didn't, or if he didn't make it, it was also the same night as the Smoke from Canada,
Okay.
so there was a lot of that. Like there was supposed to be other acts that I think were supposed to be included in this that wound up getting pulled, and then at the last second, there wound up being they ended the show with the 3-6 Mafia,
Okay.
which I have never heard of the 3-6 Mafia. I am not a 3-6 Mafia fan. I have no idea who they were, and I am not the biggest rap fan.
Okay.
And I can only imagine that they were brought in because Zach Bryan also did not want to perform in the middle of a smoke-filled arena,
That's fair.
or stadium.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of changes in that I think that Shane really wasn't responsible for,
Sure.
but had to deal with, and that caused some of the things about that that created my opinion.
I gotcha.
I don't think that like I said, I don't think it was fair to the people who had tickets to this event. And you could say almost blame it on Canada.
Well,
So
there you go.
yes, but
There you go.
77,000 tickets being sold for a comedian, that's Philadelphia stepping up and embracing their own. I said that to liken that to Seattle embracing their own, that they are going to show up for their team, and it doesn't matter if their team stinks balls.
Fair enough.
Oh, Brad, trust me, I knew exactly what game you were talking about last night, and we will get to that. I will invest 5 minutes, a bad 5 minutes. There used to be a show that said a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
We'll talk about the bad 5 minutes. I am furious. I am furious about how that game ended.
We might as well roll into the MLB since we're right there anyway. And yeah, there was plenty of terrible.
Actually, it wasn't a terrible game. It ended terribly. Listen, you guys are professional baseball players. Do not make ridiculous idiot mistakes on the base pass to end a game.
Yeah.
Do not have an 8-6-4-3-2-5-7 double play at the end of a game because you guys don't know how to run the base pass. You guys got caught in a rundown.
Yeah.
Just go to the bag. Just go to the bag. You should have been on third there, Real Muto. There was no reason for you to try to run back to second base. There was no need. He was caught. He was not going to get back. You needed to be able to, you needed to just be on the bag so that we could tie the game up.
Yep.
Very, very frustrating. And it's the idiot mistakes like that. It is the very frustrating mistakes like that lost us the game, lost us the playoff series against the Dodgers last year.
Yeah.
Not knowing what you're supposed to do. You are a professional baseball player, has been playing baseball for 10 plus years. You should know how to run the bases.
Yep. Yeah. No. I didn't watch the game, but that sequence absolutely hit my phone last night.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, all right, you're caught. So he's on third base already.
Yeah.
You know he's caught.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a wrap. Like if you're caught in the middle of the two.
Right. If you wind up with two guys on third base, then tough.
Yeah, someone's going down.
Okay. Yes, you're out. In fact, the one guy who came from second, you know, he's the one that stays on third base, and the other guy who's coming on third base, who was caught in the rundown, gets himself tagged out. That's what you do. That's how that should have ended. Listen, this is one of the 42 games that I always talk about. Every team wins 60. Every team loses 60. It's how you do the other 42. This is one of those 42. And unfortunately, this is against the best team in the league. So we cannot be making these ridiculous mistakes against the best team in the league, especially when we got them on the ropes, when we got second and third with one out. In the ninth inning, we're down by a run.
When at least he's not mad about it.
I understand. Listen. I know that you guys love it when I get like this. I know that there's like I said, that there is something that is inherently loved by our fan
There
base.
it is. It's a McLovin morning.
But the frustration is real here. That is something that should not be done in professional baseball. We are not Little League. I am not sitting here trying to have a teaching moment.
Yeah.
Against the best team in the league.
Well, you shouldn't have to have that teaching moment at this level anyway.
Correct.
So,
and that's where this is very frustrating. And this is my team here. I need these guys to know that, listen, we're paying attention. And the fact that you guys did this, I love the fact that they keep showing Schwarber's face and he's like, you know what I mean? He's as angry as I am, as he should be.
The ratings would be unreal though. Like every hater would replay that show.
It's just like I said, this was overly frustrating, and it deserves that type of vigor. It does, because listen, we are trying to figure out how to win a World Series. You can't win a World Series in July, but you could absolutely lose one. This is one of the games lost. This is a game lost in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually worse, in a game of 5, in a best of 5, because that's where we're going to wind up playing the Dodgers again. So now we got to win this. Now we got to win the series in 4. And that's this game yesterday is one of those games. And that frustrates me. And I know that doesn't make sense to some of these people out there.
No, if you're a Mariners fan, it makes all the sense in the world, because there are plenty of playoff runs that we've lost in July because it's after the All-Star break, and that 3 weeks where we forget how to play baseball, weirdly, is about the game span that we missed the playoffs by. Speaking of which, we did lose yesterday, and to the Reds, which is not a great loss. After beating them 8-0 the day before. But you know, we're hanging around, which again feels oddly familiar. And so not a lot of action on the Mariners side, they had a couple of solo shots to cut the lead, but I mean, they were down by 4 already anyway. And so unfortunately on that front, you know, they catch an L. Julio yanks one out. And kind of cool is I'm going to be a guest coach for Julio's camp. So, so if you're here on August 3rd and you have a kid between first grade and 8th grade, I'm going to be a guest coach at Julio's camp. So that's going to be kind of cool.
Gotcha. There you go. Learn how to get Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah.
How much baseball have you played?
Oh,
Are you just you're a cat corraller?
No. It's no, I mean, I played a lot of baseball. It just
Okay, I want to yeah, like you coaching football is one thing. I mean, hey, you did play professional football, but I'm not calling you out here. I'm just
no. Yeah. So no, I played a lot of baseball, but I was never a guy that went and my focus was baseball. Like I was a football guy through and through. So yeah, I mean, it'll be like basic drills and stuff, right? Like it's going to be like all my friends were, they were the baseball players. Like I was a football guy, but I teach them how to run bases. You know, honestly, probably not a bad route because maybe some of the Phillies should show up.
Tell me about it. You know, and it's good to see Frankie for the first time in a long time. We figured that you've been hiding since your Yankees stink.
You know, CPR, but not virtually. You know, that's fair.
Yeah, last night was when I it was. See, I can't even have the words. I don't even have the words to be able to. I can't speak the language properly. How angry I am about how last night went down. It is by far one of the worst losses of this season. And you cannot have that happen against the best team in the league, against the team that you are chasing down, the team that is going for a three-peat. Those types of it was bad enough that we watched Turner make 3 errors that they only gave him credit for 1. I cannot stand how they score baseball games anymore. You know, 3 errors, and he hits 2 home runs and a double, and it's okay. Well, he made up for those errors. No, he didn't. He's not playing the position the right way.
Teach them how to track a ball.
So there you go.
Well, you didn't need to throw right-handed. They do have left-handed gloves.
But anyways, it was just I know that they have the last game of this series, but the fact that they blew that yesterday and really had the opportunity to, like, I think that could have gone into extra innings and should have. I still see that the bullpen is still a little bit of an issue for the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
But they needed to take that win yesterday. It was there for us to do. They're there for us to have. And they didn't get it. And that was frustrating. Very, very frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, for the Mariners, at least we're staying close. We're at 500 right now. We're half a game out behind the Rangers, who quietly took over the lead of our division about a week ago. So yeah, I mean, it's still a very interesting division. You know, you got the Astros hanging around too. They're just 3 games out. The Angels have pretty much mailed it in at this point. They're 10.5 out, and unless they do something amazing, like that'll be done. The A's are you know, falling apart, so they're 8 games back now. But so there's that, and of course, you know, we have Cam for the second half of the show. If you were a betting person, we all thought he wasn't coming. You could have taken that prop bet right here on Coast to Coast using the QR code on the screen, up to 125%. First 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee. Of course, that is not a real prop bet, so don't look for that one.
And Cam, you just missed it. I'm sorry, I can't reenact it again, but you just missed my level of frustration on how the Phillies ran bases last night.
But you gotta give them some praise for the night before, though, right? Then they come back from look like a ugly loss. Was looking.
No. We were ahead in that game the entire game. They almost lost it.
Okay.
And that would have been thanks to Turner, because Turner has had a little bit of a challenge figuring out that the ball goes into the glove. You take the ball out of the glove and then make a throw in a straight line to second base or first base so that you can get an out. He's had a hard time figuring all of those motions out at one time. Luckily, while he has those problems, every time he creates an error, he seems to hit the ball really far. So he's having one of those weirdo moments where he does one thing really badly and one thing really well. Yesterday,
because you want to stay on a team.
Yesterday, they had a different problem.
Yeah.
They were playing the monkey in the middle, I almost feel like, because they screwed up 2 guys, second and third, and they were throwing the ball around, and ultimately they tugged both guys out, and with 1 out in the 9th and having second and third, and that's where they had the guy who was like, oh, and not knowing what to do was very, very frustrating. I felt like that we were little kids with 2 guys and you're in between, and it was a mess.
They need to come to the Julio camp. They can learn how to do something.
What does I'm sorry if you guys has covered this already, but what are the chances that LeBron chooses the 76ers over the Warriors?
I had this
smile. Look at the smile coming across his face. Look at that smile.
Oh, that's right. You didn't send me the video.
I did not send you the video. I could not find the video, but I did a little bit of research. Would you believe that it is the trending most AI lie right now in the world?
Oh, for Miami, yeah.
For Miami and the Sixers. Like, where LeBron is going is the biggest trending AI lie in the world. Well, I've seen 3 or 4 different AI things just this morning, that he was coming to the Sixers, that he signed with the Sixers, that he signed with Cleveland, that he signed with Minnesota, that he signed. Like, everybody is lying about where he's going.
Well, that stemmed because Miami, their PR team was building some stuff in case he went there and accidentally posted it. And so now everybody's jumped on he's coming here. So you can thank Miami for their PR team being stupid. Now having all of this AI garbage, he's going to every team at this point.
Where do you guys think would be the best fit for him?
I still think it would be, I'll be honest, I think right now would be Philadelphia. I will tell you, Cam, that I have heard, and he has spent some time here recently, that what's the holdup is him finding schools for his kids.
His daughter's not leaving Southern California.
Okay, well then if you know more than that, then maybe he's tried to figure out how he's going to commute back and forth. But if you're saying that, if his family's not leaving, that makes me think much less on him coming here.
I mean, well, You gotta think about it. Like everybody has access to a plane, so I'm not sure. Everybody has access to a plane. I think what I've heard, his daughter not wanting to leave Southern California. Because she's in school. You know, she's been there her formidable years. That Golden State might be the best outcome. Or the best fit, because he can then, if his family's not leaving, he's an hour and a half flight from everybody else in Southern California.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think Philly. If he went to Philly, obviously, I think that would be the best chance he has at winning a championship.
sure.
I agree.
If he went to Philly versus Golden State, Miami, or Minnesota, Minnesota would be interesting. I don't think. If this was 10 years ago, Minnesota might be a better option, because I don't think he's a good fit for the young guys with Minnesota. Yeah. I think his better fit is with the geriatric squad of Golden State Warriors.
I mean, if you were talking 10 years ago, Golden State, you'd be looking at that like that's not even fair to the league. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, pretty much, yes. But I don't think Philly, the locker room is way too crowded, man. I think that would be a crowded locker room.
Sixth man of the year.
I don't know, man. The Bron coming off the bench. Nick Nurse is gonna say, "Bron, have a seat, big guy. I'll call you when we need you." I don't know that's gonna happen. But then I think Miami, if you went back to Miami. Now, they would need some pieces, but that would be the best fit, because he would be doing what he's done for 20 years with Bam and Giannis. Now, Pat Riley had to go get them some shooters, but I think that might be the best fit on the court. That would be the best fit, would be Miami. Those are my thoughts, guys. And
I'll be honest. I think in Minnesota, I don't think Minnesota is a real thing. I know that they feel like that they have the team that if you inserted a LeBron, and on paper that makes a lot of sense, but I don't think realistically, I think that there would be an ego situation between him and DiVincenzo. And that would eventually blow up.
Who would be?
I just think DiVincenzo doesn't respond to anybody. Like, he's not going to kiss anybody's ring, and I think that he's got that ego mentality like that, and I think that could be a volatile situation, because LeBron I wouldn't say expects it, but it is deserved of it. Like, there is a deservedness of wherever he's going to go. There is a respect level that's going to be achieved automatically, that his reputation precedes him, and you're going to have that. I think DiVincenzo from Minnesota doesn't subscribe to that magazine, and that would create a rift. Just in that,
who is Dante DiVincenzo not to get along with LeBron James?
I understand exactly the question that you're asking. But Dante DiVincenzo would say he's Dante DiVincenzo. That's what I think that's where I think that rift grows. Does that make sense?
No, I totally disagree with that.
Okay.
I totally disagree. I don't know. Where does I disagree with that. I don't know Dante DiVincenzo personally. I don't know of any. I don't know of any problem that he caused. Like, I don't.
No, I think he's a great teammate. I just don't think he's going to just naturally bow to LeBron. I think that, I think that there's a respect level. I listen, these guys are all in the same fraternity, and everybody knows who LeBron James is. So there's no, I'm not saying that he's going to deliberately do that, but we have seen over the last couple of years that LeBron's teammates expect to pass the ball to LeBron. that there has been videos surfaced and things that have done, and I'm not sure that like I said, I'm not sure that Dante DiVincenzo subscribes to that magazine. And I will say that his attitude is part of the leadership of that team. And that's where I see a potential riff. I can't say that I can't guarantee the riff. I just potentially see that if LeBron was to go there, that ultimately that could create a situation that was not really expected.
Okay. I don't know how viable Minnesota is, but I thought that would be interesting if he went there. How much work does LeBron want to do at this age? I mean, if he wants just to ride the wave, I think Philly would be probably the best bet. But if he actually wants to be the player he's been for the last 20 years, I think Miami is a better fit for for his skill set and what he brings to the table and how he's played. I think Miami would be the best fit because, to your point, he's not going to have to share the ball with anybody. Not that I think DiVincenzo is anybody to take the ball out of LeBron's hands.
Right.
But he doesn't have to. I mean, DiVincenzo's coming off an injury. That's not only has who is Dante DiVincenzo, but he's coming off an injury. He is in no position to question LeBron or to challenge LeBron in any way. I don't know that would happen. But I think Minnesota would be kind of a clunkier mix because he doesn't have any relationship. I think he has a relationship with Anthony Edwards, or he Clutch has a relationship with Anthony Edwards. I don't know that he has a off the court relationship with anybody with Minnesota.
Well, and I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at it as the way that they play. I actually am looking at it as DiVincenzo is a fiery guy in general.
I don't know where you get the DiVincenzo causing problems.
No. I'm not saying that he is causing problems, but I know that he was, before he got traded away from the Knicks, he was the protector of that team. Like he didn't have any of the skill set to be the captain of that team, but he was the captain of that team.
He's a glue guy.
Well, and I think that there's a fire that he has that I'm not 100% certain mixes well with LeBron James.
Bo, do you understand do you understand the angle he's coming at?
Yeah, I mean, he's just talking about a personality clash. I mean,
like a chemistry. This is a chemistry.
Yeah. So like I get what you're saying. I don't know that it would be that big of a deal because I mean, again, LeBron's only going to play maybe 2 more years. With the idea that maybe he gets to play with his other kid. So I don't know if it would be a big enough deal that it would prevent them from bringing LeBron in. Could it create an issue? Maybe. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That one.
I'll be honest. I don't think Minnesota, the center of the country, is not a viable spot for LeBron James. I think he's a coast, and the only difference being Cleveland because he lived there.
Yeah. Well, I was going to take it a different route. Ends up the same way. Is he's more of the flashy market locations, right? So outside of Cleveland, because again, that's where he grew up. So then you're talking Cali, Miami, Philly, like those are markets that are good for him. I don't think Minnesota is a legitimate market that he would really want to be in. And especially because you're not necessarily it's not a spot where you're like, oh, they're going to go win because he's there, right? He might entertain that just ring chasing, but you have the same opportunity to win in the other cities that, you know, is projected for him to go to. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's a real viable location. I think it's really going to come down to Miami, Philly, and Cleveland. I don't even really think Golden State is. I think Golden State's a fun conversation. They're trying to pick up the AARP sponsorship, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's a real fit. I think it'll be, Miami, Philly, and Cleveland, I think, is really the three teams that have an actual shot.
I think that the Olympic stint, the Olympic experience makes Golden State a viable fit. I think they're playing with Steph during the Olympics.
I don't think Steph wants him there is the thing.
Well, you could be right. Why not? Why would you say that?
The same reason why Steph and like you've seen some of the interactions they've had over the last couple of years. He's where it's like, get out of my face. It almost like LeBron is like Pew almost, and I know that Steph.
They were fawning over each other during the Olympics about how great it would be to play with each other.
In the Olympics.
I mean,
it'll be interesting. Obviously, he is dragging this out for whatever reason. So, and it's funny that Silver came out and said, "Hey, I need you to make a decision so that I can finish the schedule here."
Well, Silver is a piece of work himself. I was a huge Silver fan when he started, and he just is. What's the meme where Homer Simpson it fades into the bushes?
Yeah.
Adam Silver has just backed up into the bushes. So the last few years.
I've never been a fan, and that's because he was Stern's little stooge. Stern let our team go away. Silver did nothing to help us get one back. So, in fact, even shut down options for the Sonics to come back. So I've never been a fan.
He's dragging his feet now, but he's been quietly working to get the Sonics back. But
there's too much pressure from all sides. Well, there's too much pressure from all sides for because you even have a lot of players and there's so many people advocating for the Sonics to come back that it's tough to ignore, even if you didn't want them as the head, right? So at some point you have to be like, well, I don't want this to happen, but it probably has to happen. When is he done? Because I know he is supposed to be done at the end of his contract. Is that 2 years
Silver?
old? Yeah,
Adam Silver. Adam is not going nowhere.
No, that's the thing is I heard there was a chance that he was leaving at the end of his contract.
That would have been his first. He would not have renewed the role if he was to leave after his first role. And then having to your point of being David Stern's guy, he's just kind of taken over the role. He was David Stern's guy for over 20 years. And
that's what I'm saying.
To take over this role, I don't think he's leaving anytime soon. I hadn't heard that he's leaving. I hadn't heard that he wouldn't make it another contract. I hadn't heard that. And I wouldn't expect that he would be out anytime soon. I wouldn't expect it. I'd be, in fact, surprised if he were. And not saying that he's doing the best bang-up job. There's a lot of issues with the NBA that's occurring. So I'm not saying he's doing the bang-up job. However, I had not heard anything about it.
Can I tinfoil hat something?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, and that potentially another reason why this LeBron situation is taking forever and that he continually talks about 2-year contracts. It's not 1 year, it's actually 2-year
Mhm.
contracts, would be the fact that he is part of one of the groups to buy into Vegas, and that after 2 years,
He can't buy into a league being a player. He can't buy into
Exactly.
ownership being a player. So I hope you weren't going there.
well, that's what I'm saying. The tinfoil hat on that makes me think that he's, hey, listen, I'm signing 2-year contracts because I want to be part of the ownership group in 2 years after.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah, the
they-
timing would
after-
work. The
I
timing
don't.
would work.
I don't think LeBron has that money. I don't think LeBron has that money to be an owner.
You could very well be. I mean, it's like I can imagine that, like he's not sole owner. You know what I mean? I wouldn't look
No,
at
he'd
him
be
as sole
minority.
owner.
He
Yeah,
would
but-
be a percentile, but these teams are going for tens of billions of dollars.
Sure.
There's going to be a $200 million buy-in or something like that. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, LeBron is a billionaire,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he is
Yes.
a billionaire. So we're not talking about the possibility of him.
So,
Hey, like if he wanted to give up $200 million, he has it in the bank account per se.
yeah, he has a way to get it. They say his
he has
net worth-
access. He has access, and he has partnerships would get them the money.
Yeah.
With him pulling out $1 billion and putting it up on a team.
Well,
Oh
he wouldn't-
no, yeah, not
I don't
possible.
think
I don't.
I don't think
No,
that's happening.
they say his net worth is somewhere between 1.2 and 1.4 billion. But yeah, if he was going to be a minority owner and throw a couple $100 million in there, I have no doubt that he could make that happen. And again,
and then-
you'd be a minority in a group.
Right, but now you talking about fits and personality clashes, and you're talking about teamwork. That's why.
Oh no. I'm not saying playing on the team.
Problem.
I'm
No,
actually seeing
no,
him.
no.
I look at this as him and as an entranceway into Vegas, as part of the community, and him he went to LA to become part of the community out there and started, like, he did those game shows and things like that. I kind of see this is tinfoil hat. I started this with tinfoil hat, so I don't have any. There's nothing that I'm going off of other than just me speculating. But I could see that as a potential for him to get into Vegas and start throwing his money around in Vegas to see what works there.
From my understanding, at least being in summer league, when I left summer league last year, the thought of LeBron owning, being part of the ownership team in Las Vegas was off the table, to my understanding.
But there was a thought process to it. So that's even further than where I was at. So
Well, no,
okay.
I think LeBron a few years ago made it clear that he wanted to be part of ownership with the worst kept secret in the NBA, that there was going to be an NBA expansion. The worst kept secret that there was going to be expansion into Seattle and Las Vegas. Now, to your point, Bo, on Silver, he's been hemming and hawing and hasn't been assertive. In my opinion, he hasn't been assertive enough to say, okay, guys, there's going to be a team here, 2 teams here, and let's start working toward it. It's all, we're looking into it. We're talking to different parties about who potential buyers, all this. I mean, come on, Adam, make a decision. So LeBron being a part of the ownership group in Vegas, I don't think is no longer on the table. So
Well, but the timing would work, because if he's looking for a 2-year contract, you can be in the works to be an owner, and it won't matter until that team actually plays. And so if he retires going into the year that he becomes a minority owner, that's where that timeline would work. Because, I mean, they're not going to play until 28.
Well, you're not wrong, Bo, but I don't think you walk off the court into ownership, though. And I don't think that's how that would go.
Brady did. Like we're
now
talking about,
we're talking about the curl on the top of this tinfoil hat.
right?
So
Like
it's like that.
You can even read the Reynolds wrap on the side. Like,
okay, you brought up Brady. What's Brady about to do now? Is Brady about to fight Logan Paul? Is that what's going on?
Man, yeah,
you brought Brady up.
I don't think he's gonna Brady. So he's gonna do something with WWE. Like that's what that whole thing is. They're talking about potentially having him in the ring at some point. I'm not a wrestling fan, so I'm not going to watch that. But
how much are they paying this dude to even consider to get in the ring?
So much.
Yeah. I mean, the Fox paid him 38 mil to go on TV for 6 times a year. How much is WWE paying him to walk into the ring? What is that?
You are watching what happens when you have to downshift from 1,000,000 miles an hour of playing in the NFL and you are bored. Yeah. That's what's happening here. He is bored. I think that it's ridiculous. The fact I understand what he's doing. He's trying to stay relevant, and Logan Paul, for whatever reason, is beloved or hated or just paid attention to an overtly amount. Like it amazes me how much this guy is actually paid attention to in whatever capacity.
These brothers was massive before they got into compact sports.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
I personally wasn't into them, but
they were huge YouTube stars.
That's what I'm saying. So
I didn't know who they were until after they started doing what they're doing now. But yeah, I mean, they're both huge, and of course, Logan is a mainstay in the WWE. So I mean, it makes sense that they're doing these things. And yeah, to your point, this is just Brady trying to connect with another audience, staying relevant. And I'm not mad at it. They're probably going to give him what, $30-40 million to play around in a ring once. Like, I mean, I would not be surprised.
I mean, they got to teach him some stuff. They would have to. I mean, that's what you're going to see over the next 4 months, or not see, is that they're going to teach him how to body slam or to get body slammed, and how to fake a punch and stuff like that. That was the one thing that I noticed at Fanatics Fest. You had what's his face? The guy who won the last champion back in 41, who retired now, and he did a punch to see how much strength he had, that punching bag, and he's like, I haven't real punched a person in 25 years.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, and he literally did the whole face thing, and it was just kind of funny how that all was just like, yeah, that actually plays.
Are you a wrestling fan?
I'm an old school wrestling fan. I'm not caught up on all the storylines. I'm not caught up on the new soap opera. Wrestling is a soap opera for men.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah,
but
speaking of Fanatics, we did have Cam trying to hurt himself. So this was hilarious.
Address the elephant. I will not hurt myself before the season. Solely due to the fact I took off. I was midair, like, holy cow, I'm not going to land this. I'm way too high.
So fresh off a knee injury.
Way too high probably was the best memory of that incident.
Tries to do a backflip at Fanatics, over rotates, falls down. And if you watch, like, his knee kind of like bends behind him. Now it was the other knee, wasn't the one that was repaired. At the same time, maybe try not to blow out a knee before you get back on the field.
Even the coach mentioned something about it. He's like, "Hey, listen, if you're going to flip, hit the landing."
Land it, right? Exactly.
That was a great response. I'm not bought into the Cam Scatterboo
he's entertaining
phenomenon. I'm not a believer in this phenomenon.
So he's a good player. He's entertaining, which is great for New York. He is not going to have longevity though. Like he does enough dumb stuff that he's going to get hurt. He's that kind of guy that probably, if he survives his rookie deal, you'll be surprised, right? Because he does enough goofy stuff that he's probably going to get hurt.
How about him and the quarterback together though? I mean I don't see this quarterback running back
Scatterboo.
I don't see this being a successful tandem. These two, but it's gonna be.
I'm telling you, it's almost going to become must-watch television because I feel the same way about their coach. I think that their coach was a good coach for a good amount of time. I think that he is I won't say the game has passed him by, but I just don't believe that he's going to have the same type of success that he had in Baltimore, in New York. I think that the Giants are almost there. There must be something in the water up there because I think that they are having the same type of similar situations like the Jets. They're making Jet-like decisions, and I feel that that they are still a far ways away from being relevant. And the fact that they have better toys to play with, the better lights to shine on, some of the things, it doesn't make a difference.
See, I think they're an ascending team, but I still don't think they're going to be good per se, right? But they will be interesting to watch. Like they will be an interesting team. Obviously, you're going to have, even if he's not the coach that he was in Baltimore, you're at least going to have competent coaching, at least until the playoffs, right? So,
taking shots at Harbaugh. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't have the best running team in the league for 5 years in a row and forget to use running backs in the playoffs every year. That's coaching.
And if your quarterback decides not to run, that's not coaching.
But when you have the king, when you have Derrick Henry, and you know that you could get a couple of yards and you're choosing to pass the ball. I mean, at one point you could blame your offensive coordinator, but you are still responsible for everybody on that team, including all your coaches.
Well, especially when you look at what it was 2 years ago. Again, best rushing team in the league. They had 6 rushing plays in the playoffs to a running back. What are you doing? That you can't tell me that's not coaching.
You can't blame him for Lamar not running the ball when you expect Lamar to run the ball.
You missed what I said.
I heard exactly what you said. I know what you're talking about. I know
they had 6 running plays. They had 6 running plays to a running back. They lose games when they have 16 or less rush plays to a running back. They win if you have 20 or more. They had 6. If we can see this from the outside, you can't tell me that they can't see it.
I mean, I'm not banging on Harbaugh, a Super Bowl winning champion, a Super Bowl winning coach. I'm not banging on him for stuff that happened on the court. Lamar Jackson, in 2 years in the playoffs, decided he didn't want to run the ball no more.
Okay.
2 years, it happened back to back. Lamar Jackson, when they have the offensive flowing, it's been flowing for Lamar to run the ball, but he elects not to run the ball. I mean, I'm not blaming John Harbaugh on that. You can't say Derrick Henry didn't get the ball enough. That's a fair assessment. Sure. Even last year, after coming off the previous year playoffs. But again, when you have Lamar Jackson, if they have an RPO and he decides he's going to take the ball, but he's not going to be that explosive Lamar Jackson that we've come to know and love. If that's not the case, if he makes that decision, and that's not a Harbaugh deal, that's a Lamar deal.
That's still a coaching thing, because if your guy isn't pulling the trigger on it, you better start calling some different plays. We do got to wrap it there, though, because we are up against it time-wise.
Well, we'll come back to this one. I disagree,
yes, Frank. We will.
Hey,
yes,
absolutely. And, we'll also hit some of the topics that were designed for this show next week. That being said, be sure to like and subscribe wherever you are watching. Words are hard. And of course, if you are listening on 97.3 ICU Radio, we do have some smooth jazz headed your way. Otherwise, we will see you all next week. As far as Cam and everybody else, we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.